We're here today to interview June Spencer OBE, who many of you will know as the actress who plays Peggy Woolley in the BBC Radio 4 Archers programme. I'm Jules Cranwell, a member of the Guildford Greenbelt Group. The GGG was set up to try to fight to protect the Greenbelt from voracious developers and the plans of our local council to give up on the Greenbelt and to hand it over to developers to build a large number of housing estates. June, you spent your entire life in the countryside, some 64 years in Ambridge in the fictional world of the Archers, and 30 years at home here in the Greenbelt village of West Horsley. What changes would you say you've seen in this time?
Well, I think the most change that I've noticed personally is the volume of traffic and how much it's increased. The street was a very quiet lane when we came here, and now of course it's a rat run to the A3 and the M25. And I believe we've lost some of the farms as well in that time. Parking is extremely difficult, as I know, to my cost. When there's something doing at the village hall, I have them parking on my grass verge if I'm not careful, and if it's been raining, deep rusts. And so there is an inadequate parking for everywhere, the village hall and the little chapel there, and the shop, the one shop we have left. It's all going downhill, which is so sad.
Were you shocked to learn of the council's plan to build over 12,000 of the target of 15,000 new homes in the Guildford Greenbelt, 6,000 of which would be in and adjacent to West Horsley if Gosden Hill in Clarendon and the former Wisley Airfield are included?
Well, I think it's appalling. I mean, it wouldn't be a village anymore. It would be a sort of dormitory state. People wouldn't be able to find work around here, which means they'd be commuting to London. And parking at the station is absolutely full as it is. And just think of the problems with where are all the children to go to school. Schools are full. The surgeries are full. It just isn't on. And the roads are in a dreadful state already, so what's it going to be like with all the extra cars?
There seems to be a case of life imitating art in the Archers presently, where they are facing similar threats to the countryside and their way of life. How do you feel about these parallels between the two situations?
Well, it just shows that the Archers is true to life, isn't it? I mean, one reads in the papers of villagers all over the country who have similar sort of problems. It isn't just us, it's a major thing for us.
How do you feel the residents of Ambridge are fighting back against the developments, for example, through the Save campaign?
Well, I think they're doing what we are, and that is banding together and fighting it in every way possible through the press, through interviews like this, and jumble sales, anything to raise money to forward the campaign. I think it's a case of villagers in Ambridge and the village people and here in the Horsleys banding together to fight it.
Do you see any parallels between Save and the efforts of the Guildford Greenbelt Group to fight similarly for the countryside and our way of life?
Yes, I mean, obviously a certain number of houses are needed, but there are brown sites, they could use those, which would mean that we shouldn't lose the character of the village, but we should be doing something towards the housing problem, but not to the extent they're proposing.
Do you feel we need to fight to protect the Greenbelt and our countryside?
Well, indeed I do, yes. Of course I do. This village is very much the heart of my life. We love it here. My husband and I loved it here.
What do you feel are the best ways of going about fighting to protect the Greenbelt?
Well, I think really we're doing pretty well everything that we can do, short of marching on Parliament.
Well, we are planning to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I would be too old to join you, but my spirit would be with you.
In Ambridge, we're starting to see a bit of an exodus of locals who, under the threat of Route B, are upping sticks, and others who are thinking of doing likewise, with 6 houses for sale in just this road, this small corner of West Horsley. Do you feel there's a similar exodus likely from residents of these villages?
Yes, it's the same sort of thing. Mm-hmm.
Do you believe the local infrastructure can sustain such a massive increase in population and the resulting traffic? For example, with a 41% increase in the population of just West Horsley alone?
I think it's impossible. As I've said, the schools are full, the surgery's full, the roads are in a dreadful state, and it just isn't on, is it?
Under the local plan, some 80% of the new homes are planned to be built in the Greenbelt. Do you believe there are alternatives to be pursued first? You've mentioned brownfield. Why do you think the council is not releasing brownfield, the development, first, before they consider even building on any of the Greenbelt?
It's appalling, isn't it? You come to live in the country.
Yeah.
And of course it turns into suburbia. Well, that's what they're trying to do.
As you say, brownfield sites are the logical choice for building first. We understand that from our point of view, the Borough Council is ring fencing a lot of brownfield because they are obsessed with growth and encouraging new businesses into the area, obviously with the consequence that it will increase demand for housing and thereby traffic in the borough.
Yes, I mean the volume of traffic on the A3. I mean, I'm driven to Birmingham for the programme, and traffic is just solid sometimes on the A3 and of course the M25, which is virtually in the area.
The council, in its draft local plan, has designated our villages, with West Horsley being designated a medium village and East Horsley as semi-urban. As you pointed out, West Horsley, for example, no longer has a post office, and in fact its facilities would suggest that it ought to have the designation of a hamlet, and it's based on the number of facilities such as post office, schools and so forth. Given that and a number of other glaring inaccuracies in the local plan, including the population figures and forecasts they've used, which are using outdated Office for National Statistics figures, do you feel that they can be trusted?
They're very devious, aren't they?
Yeah, can be.
That, I suppose, is another of the dangers. They build more houses and they say, well, we need more schools, so they build more schools. And as you say, we should be a hamlet.
There's been a call for the Surrey Hills Area of Outstanding Natural Beauty to be designated National Park status, which would protect it from development in perpetuity. What are your feelings on this, and would you support it?
Well, yes, most certainly, yes. That at least would keep something safe. Yes, I'm all for that.
Thank you so much, June. We really appreciate it, and we hope to be able to do our best for you and all the other residents of the Greenbelt villages.
Hands off the green belt!
Absolutely.